Welcome back, Meet the Experts, and we have Biggie here today, Ariel Jarvis, Vitality Wellness. I've got Margaret here, and we are going to talk to you about brushing your dog's hair and why it's so important, and if you leave it, what happens to you and your little furry friend? Margaret?
Here. Well, this is little Biggie. He's only 3 pounds. He's staying with us for the week, yes, and he's just full of mischief, this little guy, and he's deciding to clean my ears. Say hi, Big. So, as you can see, Biggie has quite a coat. Just a little bit of knowledge as far as coats are concerned. He's called double coated. So he has an underlying coat, and then he has the guard hairs that are on top. So there are lots of different breeds that have these double coated, that have double coats. And we're going to talk a little bit about the maintenance of it and why it's so important. It's very important for us to have dogs that come to the lodge mat free. The reason for that is we have water here, and we have a water park, and we have a pond, and we have streams and all sorts of things that the dogs can play in. It can be so much fun for your dog, but it can be havoc for us. So when you bring your dog here, you will see that in our material that I send that we require your dog to come mat free. And the reason for that is that we can maintain your dog's coat while they are here. When a dog has mats and they get wet, there's an issue. The issue is the hair can't dry, and it causes sores like this. And we will put this up on the screen for you to get a better look. That is called a hot spot. Now, for some of you that have long hair and you wear ponytails, you have your pony on top of your head all day long. What does it feel like when you take the elastic out of your hair and you bring your hair down? You don't just let it fall down. You want to rub at your hair because it's all sensitive, and your hair has been used to being up like this, and then you bring it down and it's just all sensitive and it can kind of hurt. Well, with dogs, it's exactly the same way. What happens is when they get a mat, the mat curls up against the skin, but it doesn't just curl up against the skin, it actually pulls the skin. So you'll see your dog shake, you'll see your dog scratch, and that becomes a problem. What happens is also when a dog gets wet, where does bacteria like to grow? Wet, warm surfaces. So your dog is now itchy, he scratches, he causes maybe a scratch, cut, or sore, or redness. Boom, bacteria takes a hold, and you start to get bacteria that starts to spread. Kind of like a staph infection. It really kind of almost looks like that. We call it a hot spot. It's sticky, it's green, it's stinky, and it's gross. So what do we have to do? We have to shave the area, but it's also sensitive to your dog. So we got to shave the area down, and then we have to clean it and keep it clean. Of course, some dogs are not real keen in wanting to get shaved. They don't like the sound of the clippers and stuff. Where do we see hot spots mainly? Usually around the ears, around the neck, especially dogs who are jowly. Retrievers are a huge, huge culprit for this. And so we're constantly checking for hot spots. So we ask you to please bring your dogs in mat free so that we can maintain it for you. If we see any redness on your dog's skin, guess what? We don't allow them in the water, because we know that the next step is a hot spot, and it's hard for your dog to deal with, and we don't want to send a hot spot home for you to have to deal with. So we just say that particular dog cannot go in the water. But we do have a solution for you out there as well when it comes to if your dog does get a hot spot, because sometimes you can have the best laid plans and you still get it. There are so many different things you can do out there. A lot of them sting on your dog, but we have a solution. I'm going to turn it over to Ariel and what we can do about that.
Absolutely. And so some of the things that, Margaret had shared was it's sore, it's tender, it stinks, it's ooey. It's a perfect environment for pathogenic growth, meaning you need to sanitize the area, but that can be painful. Well, here we use the Kangen water and it has a button. That button produces a 2.5 solution which is pain-free and effective, 7 times stronger than bleach. It is going to clean the surface to allow the environment to heal.
Right.
And then you can go ahead and you can allow the skin to have the 11.5 after to prevent the dryness and go from there.
Yeah, so the 11.5 is great because it'll actually keep the area clean. And once it gets dry, so not sticky to the touch, and you can honestly see it because as long as the green goes away, you start getting a nice thin scab on it. You know it's going to be healing and it's not going to spread. If you leave a hot spot alone overnight, and I'm not just kidding you, overnight, you can have a hot spot this big and next day it can be this big. So don't mess around with hot spots. It's very important you get on top of them, and please make sure, not just bringing them here, make sure your dog stays mat free.
That's right.
Right, Biggie? That's what we do.
Thank you so much for watching. Meet the experts. Stay tuned for our next video. And at the next slide, please follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Reach out to Margaret for any questions or concerns. We are here to help.
Say hi, bye, Biggie. Bye. Bye.